Good morning, guys. Today we're going to start creating our multi-view assembly drawings for our puzzles. As you can see, I'm already logged into my OnShape account, as we can see by all my parts and my puzzle here. We are going to start by double-clicking on puzzle 1. Now, instead of creating a new document this time, we're going to add to our existing assembly. So what we are going to do is over here at the very bottom where it says Insert New Element, we're going to click on that and we're going to create a drawing for it. When the window opens up for the drawings, we have the option to create a custom template, which would include custom paper size, custom measurement options, feet and inches, millimeters, centimeters. We can set our decimal separators. We can set our projection for angles. How many zones we're putting it in, but we're going to leave all of that as is. We have our two options for ANSI, American National Standards Institute, and ISO for the International Organization of Standardization. I know, it should be iOS, right? Maybe people would just get confused with the whole Mac thing. But we're going to stick with existing templates, and we're going to use the ANSI A, which is represents, the A represents an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper. So we're going to stick with that. Once that's open, we need to click on other documents and go into our OnShape account and choose one of our parts. I'm going to choose my black part 1, and you can see over here it's in the scale margin, so I can see what size this is. 1:1 is actual scale. I could make it larger or smaller, 2:1 or 1:2, or any size I needed. But as I move my mouse around, you can see it hasn't stuck yet. Once I click with my left mouse button, I have my front view. Now I can drag over here, but you'll notice my orthographic lines of projection will not allow me to vary up and down. So once I click over there for my side view, I come back to my front view to click on that for another orthographic projection, and I click for my top view. And I'm also going to click on my front to put an auxiliary view in. Pull it over to the right and click on that. I hit escape on my keyboard to get out of the placement of the views, and you'll notice as I pull this around, my orthographic lines stay all in tune or in sync with each other. I'm going to move this over here, and that's a good space there, but I want this part to actually be shaded, the same color that it is, so that we can easily recognize which part this is. So I'm right clicking on it, and I'm going to choose show shaded view, so that it gives it the realistic view that it is. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to the tool ribbon to find my dimension tool right here, and then I'm going to set my dimensions. I'm going to start at the baseline. I'm going to set all my height first, using all my same rules for dimensioning that I did in our sketches, with no chain link dimensions, only baseline dimensions. That is all of my height. And now I go to do my width, and oh no, I realize very rapidly that I can't get this width here without crossing right here. And if I go to my top view to do it, I get the same scenario. I can't place that dimension without crossing a boundary. So what I have to do is hit escape on the keyboard. I can see that I'm out of dimension mode now because it's no longer highlighted up here. And I'm back to having an arrow for a mouse cursor. So I'm going to come back over to my base view. My base view is the first one I put in. The first view, which should have been the front view, and it is. And I'm going to right click on that. And for view orientation, I'm going, right now, you can see that the word front is kind of opaque, where the rest of them are darker. So it's in the front view right now. I'm going to try changing it from the front to the back view. And now that will allow me to do that. The only problem is I have to delete some measurements here so I can redo my measurements because they stuck with it. So it looks as if I can do all of my, oh, I can't, now here I can't do the depth. So I have to, because I'll run into the exact same thing here by crossing here or here. So the back view won't work either. Let me get rid of both of those dimensions. I'm going to delete that one too for clarity purposes. So we've tried the front and the back. I'm going to try the right view. And as I inspect that, it looks like I can do them all from this view. So I go ahead, click on my dimension. Set my baseline, come back to my baseline. Okay, there's all my height. Now I can do my width here or up top. I'd prefer to keep it right here. And there. Now all I have to do is my depth, and I'm going to, I think I'm going to put that up here. Start with my baseline on the outside. Come back to my baseline, click, go there. So hit escape so I get out of the dimensioning function, and I'm dragging that inside. I'm going to separate this a little bit by moving it up. And the last thing that I have to do here before I go on to my next sheet is to fill in my title block. So as I zoom in on this, you can see since OnShape is registered to Ron Moats, it already has the name in there and the date. We have the scale is already filled in and it's sheet 1 of 1. The only thing we have to do is double click there to give it a title, and I'm going to name this Black Part 1. And I'm going to accept that. That is revision 1, sheet weight finish material. I'm going to double click on that and put wood. And finish paint. Okay, so my title block is filled in. So now, this is, rather than closing out the document, what we're going to do, here's our assembly here, we've got our drawing 1, we're going to come back over here to the plus sign and insert new drawing, accept as is. Click on other documents, and I would bring in, go to OnShape and pick another part. Click on that part. Insert the front, the side, click here, then click for the top, click back on the base view, and then click on our auxiliary view. Right click on the auxiliary view, oh, I have to hit escape on the keyboard. I'm still in the view placing mode. I have to get my cursor back. Show shaded view. And then decide if I can do my height, width, and depth. And I'm noticing here that I cannot do my height. So again, I have to go to view orientation, and I'm going to try my right view. And I still can't do my height because I can't click on this one. So let's try the left view. And now I can get them all. I'm going to separate this, give myself a little more room. And I will do everything I did in drawing number 1. I will do in drawing number 2. As far as the dimensioning goes and the title part, except of course, I will change it to green part, not black part. And then I'm going to change the drawing name from drawing 1 to black part 1. Assembly 1 I'm going to rename to puzzle 1. And drawing 2 I am going to rename to green part 1. Guess I better rename that. I spelled black wrong. Got a really touchy keyboard here. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to do that with all 5 pieces, and then the 6th one I'm going to insert the entire puzzle in, and then I'm going to make all of them shaded. But that's okay. You've got 10 drawings to do before then, and I'm going to go back over this on Monday. So that is your assignment for today, guys. Remember, we are adding, when you are done here, you should have the puzzle assembly and then 5 more drawings. See you on Monday.